So hello, we're back today with Joe Taylor. Did the first episode last week with Nathan. So if you missed that, I'll leave the link to that in my comments on this video. But today we're with Joe Taylor. Can I say hello, Joe?
Yeah, all right, man. How's it going?
Oh yeah, not bad, man. How are you keeping?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. Surviving.
As best as we can do at the minute.
Yeah, man. It's strange, like, you know what I mean. I'm not missing work or anything like that, but it's strange.
Yeah. What are you doing with your time? And obviously, I know you're a chef, aren't you?
Yeah, man. So obviously, like, I work at Wetherspoons, and obviously the crack with that, it was just like was shut as soon as the government said. In my spare, like, all the spare time that I've got, I'm kind of recovering today because I kind of went on like a 5 mile walk yesterday, and it was like the first bit of exercise I've had since like all this kicked off, because I've just been
Nice.
like just chilling, because it's like obviously we're being in the kitchen and stuff like that. It's so like paced and stuff, you know what I mean?
On your feet constantly, aren't you?
Yeah. So I've kind of used this like the first 8 to 10 weeks just to chill out really, and just try and get myself back to like square one and stuff, and try and enjoy home life and stuff, and enjoy stuff like that. So obviously, me and the fiance went out for like a 5 mile walk yesterday around Cramlington, and I'm suffering today. It feels like being in the gym.
It's a big walk, like big. I think I seen you post it on your Instagram. The walk,
Yeah, man.
Big walk.
Yeah, it was sick though. You know what I mean? It was nice to get out and stuff. And like, obviously, I've lived in Cramlington for about 2 years now, and again, because of the job, like, I haven't had time much to like walk around the place. Like, I go up to the shops and stuff like that and come back, and that's pretty much it. But I've never like been like around the fields and that and all that crack. So
Yeah.
so it was nice to get out, man. Like, it was nice. It wasn't too busy. Everybody's like abiding by the rules and stuff, which is good. And then apart from that, dude, like, it's obviously we're in solid like writing mode now. Like, we're burning and stuff, and it's like I've just literally set up like a home recording studio, like literally interface at the laptop, and it's just purely for demoing and stuff like that. You know what I mean? But when it comes to it, we can easily go back to the studio and stuff and just be like, this is what we've got.
It's good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've got a canny bit to talk about. In relation to, obviously, we've known each other for quite a long time now. I'd say we're probably about 7-8 years that we've known each other.
Yeah, yeah.
Through playing in bands, obviously bands and other things like that. So I mean, I think there's obviously a few. Obviously, we'll talk about the band that you're in at the minute. Obviously, Burdens. Yeah. Obviously, how are things going with you at the moment?
Yeah, good, man. Really good. It's obviously, like I said, it's being in this band now it's completely a different situation for me specifically, because obviously being from Newcastle, I was in Newcastle-based bands completely, and practice like 10 minutes down the road. You know what I mean? And it's a change, but it's an eye opener at the same time. It's because it's like I travel down to Cheshire.
Right.
So that's where we practice. We're practicing Cheshire at the studio, and it's good, man. Like, it's really good. It's like it's a lot more experience and stuff like that for us anyway. The band front is going pretty good. Like, well, obviously, like I said, with everything that's gone on, with everything's kind of halted. We've announced a Newcastle show in October.
Yeah.
Whether it happens or not, I still don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Because of all this, it's announced, but like I said, obviously expected.
Depending on what happens.
You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
I'm done get pulled in September, which is worrying. But kind of, you know what I mean? If it gets rescheduled, it gets rescheduled. And obviously we're in Inverness as well in October as well. So those are the shows that have kind of got booked.
Yeah.
And then we're planning to shoot a video for another single, which is hopefully going to happen, you know, when all this blows over as well. Like, so hopefully when all this blows over. So yeah.
That's the important thing, to have your sort of like your plans in place, isn't it? I mean, even though the shows actually might get postponed, it's not to say that you obviously if they do get rescheduled, they get rescheduled. They're still going to happen, really, on that. I know a lot of bands are still announcing stuff, and they're still planning stuff just to make, like, if everything does come to normality in like a month or so, we can just sort of go back to normal. But obviously with the band at the moment, you've released Contrasts about a month ago. Such a fucking sick single, man. How has the reaction been so far for yous?
It's a weird one, because it's kind of been obviously with 33 we had the Back in the Dream band. And we chose to try and there was a massive risk with releasing this song because it wasn't going with the video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just single artwork and stuff like that, and we all knew it was going to be a massive risk. And we've had quite a lot of interest from Germany, which is like insane. You know what I mean? Because it's the first time like it's even like we've been reached over there. Like with 33, it was the other way around. You know what I mean? It kind of went out on Dreambound, and then we had obviously the guys from Spain and stuff like that love it, and then with Contrast, it's completely different because we released it on ourselves. So we've got it. It's been a lot harder to release, kind of way, not in a bad way, but it's just been a lot more hard work and stuff like that to try and release it. Spotify seems to be again like it's completely polar opposite to like 33, like because with 33, Spotify kind of kicked off a little bit later, and then it was just YouTube to start with. So this way, it's kind of flipped around. So Spotify's kind of doing a little bit better than YouTube, but again, it's because of the whole, the video thing. And like I said, this was going to be on a video, like before all this kicked off, and obviously due to the circumstances, the video got pulled, and then like we're gonna have to release something just to keep the ball rolling. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing about us. It's like we're a singles band, so we're just planning on releasing singles like every so often, just try to crash this.
Yeah.
And like I said, obviously because of the travel and stuff like that, that kind of puts like a little bit more into it as well. So that's kind of, you know what I mean? It has been really well. Like Alex Baker played on Kerrang, which was sick. Like he played it twice. He loved it, and man, like it's been getting the attention from the right people really, which is good. But independent, you know what I mean? So it's like it's one of those things. It's a lot harder to obviously push a product out there in a minute. Being independent.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's the same for us at the minute. We've just this is the first time that we're sort of independent releasing music. So before this, every time we've released music, we've had the backing of a label or a management. With this, we're literally independent. So it is always such a bigger risk when you're releasing it sort of off your own back, because it's obviously
I think
all
it's
this
like
work into it, haven't you?
You know what I mean? Because it's like obviously obviously the first band Orion, we had a little bit of management there and like stuff like that, but we're all young as well, you know what I mean? We're all young, but it was a lot different back then. So it's like it's a lot more like, I don't know, of a thought process, you know what I mean? You've got to set out your own plans and stuff like that, and you stick to it and stuff. Like we've got spreadsheets and stuff like that, like just going throughout the air and stuff. So it's like it's just trying to find that solid plan, really.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, you mentioned Orion. I mean, like the band before Day Shift, are Beyond the Ocean. Obviously, ourselves and Orion, we played a lot of shows together. Obviously, we had that tour in Spain. That tour, that was just absolutely mental.
Yeah, dude, that thing. Memories. I think it was. In fact, maybe in Italy, to be fair, but that came out in my memories sometime, and I think that was our third time out, and obviously first time, and that run alone was like a massive learning curve as well, because we're only about like 20 or 19, bro. We were young.
Literally, mate. Yeah, literally. I mean, I was talking to Nathan about this last week, and like it was, we were literally. I mean, it was our first ever sort of tour alone. Like every other shows before then was literally just within the sort of surrounding areas, but it was our first time ever touring. So like for us, we were just like, money's just going out left, right, and centre. We don't really know.
Proper mate, yeah.
Like, literally, I don't think we actually. I don't even like. I mean, you had been to Italy before that, hadn't you?
Yeah, man, like that's the thing. And again, like it didn't matter how many runs we'd done, we were still spending like a shed load of money. Like I was stopping it out every time I stopped at service stations. I was just grabbing loads of scrap. Like it's just like,
which you do,
yeah. But it's that's the thing. It's like we didn't because obviously we broke down on the way back.
Aye,
you remember
that? Fuck.
France we broke down, and that was. I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely bricking it then. Like, because Connor, our driver, he had a friggin' asthma attack on the road. Basically, he was shouting down the phone, and we didn't know what to do. Like, obviously, we were with Vans and Bands as well. They sent out another van like 2 days later, but that was again, it was a massive learning curve because it was the first time it ever happened to us. But like, it did happen in Italy and stuff like that, and it obviously didn't happen now because we took public transport around there. And it was like we were driving down the motorway in France, and it was like it just stopped. Like everything just cut off, and it was like midnight, and it was just like the worst thing in the world. Like didn't know what to do, and then obviously once Mercedes picked her up and took her to the garage, it started getting a little bit easier. We were just like I was like on the phone with our management at the time, like just like. Trying to ask what we'd do and stuff like that, and then Connor was on the phone to Vans and Barnes, and like he had to break the price to him and stuff. And in the end, the van actually got trashed there. They just kept the van there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, man. They just kept the van there. The engine was too knackered. Like it was just apparently the pistons just exploded or something like that, and it just went. It was quite an old sprint, to be fair, but the point of that is it's like again, it was like a massive. That whole run because of that as well was like a massive learning curve.
Yeah, for definite.
Especially on the money wise. I mean, luckily we didn't have to pay anything, but you know what I mean, because it wasn't our fault. But still, it was like it could have been a lot worse if we didn't go with the company. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I mean, I think that's the thing as well. I mean, there's a lot of bands these days that are sort of. I know we had our own sort of van. Well, when we had Kyle in the band, just because it was his work van, but obviously he's no longer got that. He's got a car instead. So, like, tours going forward, we're going to have to look into sort of renting vans again. And we sort of had that luxury of not having to pay for a van for about a year and a half, which is, it obviously saves you the extra expense. But I think it is that as well. Obviously, if you do use your own transport and if anything is going to go wrong, that's extra. That's a lot of extra expense for you on an already tight budget that you're already on through a tour, really. So,
and that's the thing, man. It's like even better now. Like even if you have got to like rent from a company now, like you'll be able to get cheaper rates now because all of us now who like were in bands back then as well, like we're old enough to drive now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So they'll knock off the price of having your own driver, but the only risk of that is your driver could be a member of the band and you could be playing shows, and then you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things. It's a
having to split drives. Yeah, I mean. Yeah. The first time we ever had a show with Kyle, he drove her back in his van, and I remember it was like 3 a.m. going up one of the motorways that was more down. It was like just coming out of London, I think, and he started falling asleep at the wheel, and we weren't even like an hour out of London. And it was, you've got to be fucking careful with that shit, man. Like it's too risky, too risky.
We had to stop in France, mate, because on the way there, I think you guys were in front of it, and Connor literally fell asleep at the wheel on the motorway.
Mm-hmm. Like, I remember that.
We hit the barrier, so we had to go on the radio straight away and just like, we have to stop this next service station.
Yeah.
And props to him, because I tell you what, he covered. It was I think it was like his first ever tour, or his second. In props to him because he travelled so much that weekend. Like so much. Even when we were going through Spain, man, like. I mean, you'll remember, you know what I mean? It was such a long drive.
I don't think I've ever drove that much in my life. Like, I can't remember what was the weekend, because obviously I think it was a Friday, a Saturday, and a Sunday was the shows. I'm pretty sure we left like Wednesday morning.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we left Wednesday morning, and then I'm pretty sure we were still late for the first show.
Well,
I can't remember. Was it not the high end show? Because the high end was like the best
yeah,
show.
it was the second show, so we were late for that one because I can't remember why we were late, but we missed our sound check and everything. And
Yeah.
there's actually a video on the Orient page of us playing Ghosts. You can like see the promoter come out and just say, "Look, you're gonna have to hurry up." Like,
Yeah. I mean, I remember because I remember getting into high end, and then
Yeah.
us just pulling the vans up, and there already been like a queue of like 60 people outside, and we were like,
I know.
have we just turned up to the wrong show? Like, is this for us?
I said to Caesar that day. I said to Caesar and his was like, I was like, is this all for like obviously us and you guys? And they were just like, yeah. And if you remember the first show, there wasn't even like a sound guy or anything like that, was there? Like there was just like literally there, and there was a few like one or two people there, and then like, obviously on the flip side of that, Madrid was just there was no one there. Like
absolutely no one. It was literally like there was a lot of questions to be asked about that tour in general, but the fact like it went surprisingly well considering it was just two local Newcastle bands, but no one really knew of it in Spain. Just driving out and just playing these 3 random shows.
Exactly.
Usually, if you'd said that now and you were like, I want to go play in a country where no one knows where, we don't know if anyone's going to turn up, you'd be like, are you fucking stupid or something? But
I know.
It's just, I mean, it's sort of 2 young bands, we had to do it. Like, there was no question. Didn't matter how bad it was, we had to do it.
Yeah, exactly. That was it. Like, and that was it. It was the fact that we had to, like, because Europe's, thing is with UK and Europe, it's like it's 2 completely different kettle of fish. Like, you know what I mean? It's like it's weird how much like Europeans appreciate like obviously the music side and stuff like that, and it's like we were getting treated like royalty over there, man. You know what I mean? Like both of us were
absolutely mental.
Like it was insane. Like we were getting good food, and that's it. It was the same in Italy for us as well. It was the same in Italy, and it was the same in Ireland. Even Ireland's exactly the same. You know what I mean? So it's absolutely insane. And like you said, band like obviously being in band now, like we're going about like Europe and stuff like that, playing in front of nobody, like we'll be like, what the fuck, like, you know what I mean?
Aye, mate, it's absolutely mental. I mean, yeah, it's just there's a lot of things like you always say a lot of things about sort of UK bands going over to Europe and just the people over there just being so like accommodating and just like the hospitality is just second to none. It's like literally all I hear, which it's just such a difference to the UK. Because there has been a few bad experiences with different promoters from what I've heard from like people down south and stuff. So it's very strange. But obviously, you're going to be playing Inverness. Obviously, as long as it's not postponed. Is it big? That's putting that on for you, is it?
So no, it's not. It's actually a guy called Ross McFarlane, I think his name is.
Oh yes, yeah.
He knows Stephen. He knows Stephen really well, but he obviously Ross put the comment up, a status up like ages ago saying, "Does anybody know any bands who want to play this festival?" And obviously Stephen, it must have been through Stephen because he commented on that saying, "Oh, get us on it."
Yeah.
And again, I've never been to Inverness in my life, so I don't know what to expect. Like,
it's a beautiful place, mate. It's so nice. The drive up there will be like one of the best drives you'll ever go on.
Really?
We've actually been up to sort of Inverness and Forres in the sort of surrounding areas like 3 times in the last like year and a half, I'd say. It's just
it's actually
so
in
nice.
Forest, like the whole place is called Forest Fest.
We played last year's. It's honestly, mate, it's so nice. I mean, the last run that we did it was like 2 or 3 dates down south, and then the last 2 dates were finished in Scotland. It's like awful as it is to say, the difference in like people's like friendliness and like kindness and stuff is just so different. Like from one end of the country to the other, it is absolutely mental. I don't know why it's so different.
That's the funny thing about Scotland as well. It's like, again, like there seems to be a lot more attention coming from Scotland, which is insane because it is at the top end of the country. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I don't know, like it's mental how they go about it. You know what I mean? And obviously, we've been asked to go up to Scotland a few times and stuff like that. We did actually have something planned, but obviously, like something got in the way. last year. So like we jumped on it as soon as we could to get back up there again.
Yeah.
Because I've never played it, you know what I mean? I've never played Glasgow, I've never played Edinburgh, but I've always said like I've wanted to play it. So I'm excited for it if it goes ahead. Like, I'm absolutely stoked. I really hope it does go ahead because I've seen pictures of the venue as well and it looks really good.
Which venue is it?
I literally can't remember now. 2 seconds. It's like a 500 cap venue or something.
Oh, nice.
I'm sure it's like a hotel or something. It's called. Where the hell is it? No, I can't find it.
Nah.
It's Victoria Hotel. That's it.
All right. Okay.
So yeah, it's somewhere called Victoria Hotel, and it's a pretty big room to be fair. So
Interesting. Sick.
good to see that one go out.
Aye, you'll love it, like me. It's really nice up there. Really, really nice. So obviously we're both bassists.
Yeah.
Who, hopefully they've realised that there's not two bassists just talking about stuff before now, so they've already listened to probably half of it by now.
Yeah.
But obviously talking through your current sort of your rig. But what bass are you using these days? Are you still using? Are you using you've still got your Squire, haven't you?
Yeah. So this past year I bought 2 new basses, which is like a drug. So basically, I did have a Squire. I can't even remember what I had last year. So I did have 2 Squires last year. I had a vintage modified and a classic vibe. The classic vibe I got off Owen Morris from Faces of Eve.
Yeah.
Lovely guy. He's from Brighton, I think. So I bought that off him, and I played it at the Academy when we had our first show there last year. I think it was last year.
Yeah.
And it was a great bass and stuff like that. But this past year, I've been switching out basses like there's no tomorrow. So I walked into Guitar last August. August just gone, and I bought a Fender Player Series P bass.
Aye.
With a maple neck, and it's like a butterscotch cream like body, and that's one colour that I thought I would never go for.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I've just never, obviously when we background and stuff like that, we're playing in like heavier bands than what I'm playing in now and stuff like that. It's something I thought I'd never go for, but I was just like, you know what, I want it, like it looks sick. And then about 3 months later, I bought another jazz bass, which was a Squire. I think it's a vintage modified again, but a 70s one.
Yeah.
So it's got like a different colour. It's a maple neck, but it's like a darker maple on it. It's weird. I think they've just released them, to be fair.
All right. No, yeah. I mean, I've seen the picture of the current bass that you've got in the moment. It's fucking.
Yeah.
Really,
So I'm
really
kind of switching between them two. Obviously, I played with the Fender live at Sheffield, and it was insane.
Yeah.
It was absolutely. I loved it. And then obviously I got that, and I've recorded with both of them. To be fair, like we had. I took the Squire down to the studio and I plugged it in. It sounded amazing on the recording, even on the demo stuff up here, because I use the Will Putney packs up here.
Yeah.
On the recording, so I've obviously, since I got a laptop and stuff like that, I use the Will Putney packs because I wanted to try them out because we've used them in the studio and stuff. And then it's kind of just like I've switched back to heads and calves and stuff like that, and I've just bought a Mark bass head.
Mhm. All right. Okay.
It's the little Mark 250 black line. Should I say? So the story of that is, I've seen Larry who used to be in Shields, and he's done bass for Dreams. Like, me and him are really good friends, and he had a Mark bass, and I messaged him like a week beforehand, and I was like, look, I'm thinking about getting one of these, and he was like, dude, just do it because you'll never look back. You know what I mean?
Aye.
And to be honest with you, I've never looked back at it. To be fair, I've been familiar with the company like in the past, but obviously like I had the Orange Head and Illusions and stuff like that, and then I seen this and I was like, it's small and it's light. You know what I mean? It doesn't weigh anything.
I need that. Like, I
need
that.
Which is good. And then cab wise, I'm just using a very, very beat up Ashdown 6x10, which was previously owned by Nick, who used to be in Bear and Loss.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I bought that off him for £100 in Cheshire. And we're literally, he lives in the Lakes now, and it took us ages to get it off him because I just didn't have the time to go down. And I got it off, and it's beat up the shit, but it sounds so good, man.
Aye. It's such a trek, that, man. Just to get that.
I'm like,
a trek. What you were saying about your bass, obviously the colour. I mean, I've got a Fender P bass that's just full white with a maple neck, and I've always just wanted black basses. Like, a black bass is just what I want because I feel like it suits us more. But this white bass, like I bought it off someone random who was selling it. And I think they're only selling it for like £300, and I was like, I need to get that up because that's so cheap for a fucking Fender P bass. So I just had to get it.
It wasn't really cheap now, wasn't it? Like all the Mexicans and stuff like that. You can get a Mexican online for like £400 now on Facebook. It's mental, like
so much cheaper. So much cheaper.
Insane. Like, I mean, in the past I've had that P basses. I've loved P basses from like obviously back in the Orient days because in Spain I had that black one.
That was unreal, that one. I remember I played it for the high-end show, and it was so nice.
Yeah, honestly, I regret selling that so much. Actually, there was actually a kid in Crampton who I think I messaged you, and I was like, dude, I found my bass from Spain, and it was actually...
I remember you telling us.
He wouldn't sell us it, mate. He wouldn't sell us it back.
Oh, fuck me, man.
Like, I was just like, dude, like, I've been over this Spain's... Like, this bass has been all over Spain with us, and I want it, like... I was like, I haven't got the money now, but I'll have it for you at the end of the week. And he was just like, nah, somebody's already interested in it. I was like, you're joking. Like, honestly, man.
So, obviously, we've both been in Newcastle bands for quite a while. Obviously, you're with Burden now.
Yeah.
Current sort of music scene that we've got at the moment. I talked to Nathan about this last week, and at the minute, I think Newcastle's music scene sort of locally for metal and the like surrounding genres of that is like probably the strongest it's been in a while. Like, I just want to get your opinion on that and sort of like which bands are you digging the most at the moment, like sort of locally, and I'd probably say within the UK metal scene, which bands are you sort of digging at the moment?
There's a lot. There's quite a few actually, because obviously like that's the thing about me. It's like obviously we're being in Burden and stuff like that. Like I said, I do a lot of traveling and stuff like that, and we're very well. I don't think we've ever had a practice up here. So there was a point where I wasn't going to shows for a bit because I was like working constantly, and then I went to a Lock & Key show, and I was like, Jesus, it's changed loads, but it's gotten a lot better. Like it's like what you said, it's on a massive high at the moment because that show was packed out for the supports and for obviously Lock & Key and stuff like, and it's like. It's insane how much it's changed from, like, it has changed a lot from, obviously, when we played back in the day and stuff like that, like, 6 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, for me, like, the bands at the minute is just, like, there's a band called Derelict who have absolutely killed it. It's the singer is a guy called Gregor McMillan, I think he's second name.
I know who you mean. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, man, lovely kid. Absolutely, I've got all the time in the world for him. Like, he's absolutely insane, and his band is absolutely killing it. Like, the first single had a feature from Aiden from Dealer.
Oh, like I love Dealer.
Yeah, like, dude, if you love Dealer, these like they're insane. Like, I've got all the time in the world for them. Like, I think they're based down south now. Because I know Gregor he's Scottish, and I'm sure he lived in Scotland like about a year ago.
He did. I think that's how I know him. I think we ever played a show with his band.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, or you put on that show. I think it might have been he was one of the bands. I really can't remember, but but I think that's how I know him, because I've got him on my Facebook and I have seen him post about his band, and like I haven't actually checked them out yet, so I'm going to check it out as soon as we finish this today.
I think that Heaviest Sin in the mint, you know what I mean? They're on the right track. Mm-hmm. They are really good, and then obviously from the northeast you've got like Creek, who are killing it. I wasn't too familiar with them like a few months ago, but Josh, I think he's a bassist. He's done artwork for my next release.
Oh, wicked.
So obviously I got introduced to him and stuff like that, and I did listen to Creek before. Like, I started talking to him, and they're sick, mate. Like, I love what they're doing, and they're really good. And then obviously there's you guys and stuff like that, which I've known for ages, and that new single is absolutely phenomenal.
Cheers, mate.
You know what I mean? Like, you was going to that like kind of sound, because obviously, like when we were in Spain, that was the first time I ever heard you was go to that kind of sound. You know what I mean?
Aye, I mean,
Like,
we've tried to keep it. I mean, we want to still have like heavy elements within the songs, but we don't
yeah,
want it all just to be sort of like breakdowns. Like it's Nathan that writes like the tracks themselves. He keeps them melodic in a way that they're still heavy, but
yeah,
it's not like just opens and breakdowns type of thing. We still want to have that heavy element, but not have it so it's just like boring to listen to, if you get what I mean. So
yeah.
it's a weird like sort of sound. It's sort of, I think it stands out a little bit from like the generic sort of heavy stuff, but there's a lot more bands going into this sort of side of things rather than just playing like your opens and your breakdowns and stuff. Like there's a lot more sort of technicality to the songs now, I would say.
Yeah, which is really sick to see, because you know what I mean, it's nothing, you know what I mean, it doesn't sound the same and stuff like that, and it's really good. Like, and that's what I love saying about like bands like today. Is obviously like going in their own different routes. Like obviously we took on like a like Ghost Inside / Counterparts type thing. You know what I mean? Like
you can definitely hear that in the song. I think it was Contrast I was listening to, but your vocals are very sort of, they have that like what's the word for it? They have that sort of that growl element to it that sounds very much like the Ghost Inside vocalist, but it's obviously the I would say like the instrumentals complement it really well. So it like it has that sort of influence, but obviously it is your own sound in the same way.
Yeah, that's the thing. The funny thing is about all the Burn stuff is when we first ever started writing it, it was on an acoustic. Like,
Really?
Yeah, it was Liam, the vocalist. Like Liam, the vocalist, used to just write on his acoustic all the time, and that's how 33 came about. And we just used to send each other, like he just used to send me videos on Facebook and stuff like that. And we would have calls and stuff, and everything was wrote on an acoustic that was in drop A sharp. Like,
it's mental how that all works.
Yeah, and then obviously we took it in the studio, and Mike Bennett, who we work with in the studio, is obviously, he's a guitarist in MISV and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He added like a couple of he's had a massive part to play when we're going to the studio and co-produced it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially with like the melodies and the lead work and stuff like that. Like he's had a massive part to play in it. Yeah, man. That's how obviously like that comes about. So yeah, other bands anyway. Other bands who are absolutely killing it in the scene and stuff like that. It's I'm trying, like, there's been loads, man. There's been absolutely loads. There's obviously the bigger type of bands like Captives are like really good. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah. Captives,
man, Captives are sick. Like the amount of like exposure they've had in the past like year and a bit is insane. Because obviously I started listening to them when like Burden kicked off and stuff like that. So. And they've just grew like massive amounts in this like short space of time. So I've got a lot of like time and respect for them. Mm-hmm. Obviously the Starved, who used to be Starved to Survive, they're sick. Like I've played a lot of shows in them in the past.
Yeah.
Like, and I've got all the time in the world for like obviously Dom and like James and that. And they are sick. They're killing it. And they seem to be, you know, they seem to be pulling in a lot of like really good like crowds and stuff. And then obviously, like you said last week, the whole rap and trap thing is absolutely exploded in Newcastle now. Obviously with Jack and that and Liam.
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's like, I mean, it's always sort of been there. Like obviously when Running Clan came around, I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago, it was sort of like, it was fresh and new because it hadn't really been done properly. Like it'd been done, but not like killed it in the way that they've done it in the last like 2 to 3 years. And now they've obviously split, they're still together, but they're sort of like, they've got their own little solo things going on, and they've got that that new trio coming out with George from October Ends. So they're like what they're doing at the minute is just, it's so like, it's different and it's new, but they're literally killing it with everything. Like everything that they post and release like track wise is literally just like it's like setting a new bar each time. It's
Yeah, it is, man. Like they're taking it to a new level every time, and obviously they were on that Perception show with us, and I've never seen the Academy absolutely lose it as much as I've seen that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's like the last time I seen that happen was at Your Demise. Like, you know,
was that famous Newcastle show?
Yeah, man.
Christ.
Yeah, that's the last time I ever seen it go that off, and props to them, mate. Like, absolutely props to them. They're killing it, and it's like, it's insane how much they're killing it. So, and Jack, like I said, Jack and Liam, like, I've known Liam for a long time. Jack, I kind of were met, like, it was like right at the start of Illusions and stuff like that, I think. And like, obviously, like, Jack's had a massive, like, life-threatening thing going on, and the amount of spirits that kid's got, like, is just ridiculous. Like, he's mint. Like, I've got all the respect in the world for him, and I honestly do. I hope he gets really better. Like, you know what I mean? I really do. Because I couldn't imagine what it'd be like for him, really. Like,
it's inspiring in a sense, isn't it? Like,
it is, mate. Like, it is. Like,
that's going on.
Yeah, man. Like, it is. It's insane. Like, it's inspiring, and he's such a strong person, and obviously I've asked him to play like shows and stuff like that, and obviously he's got to put his health first, and like he's insane, man. Like, I've got all the time in the world for him.
Yeah, that's it. If we're obviously we're still talking about at this in a minute. If anyone doesn't know sort of what we're talking about here, I'll leave a link to the fundraiser page in the description of this video, just so you can sort of read up. And obviously, if you have anything that you can sort of put forward or anything to help out, then please do, because it's such an important thing, and the fact that the local community and the scene is sort of putting everything together to try and help this dude get his life back. Like, it's great. So yeah, I'll leave that link to that in the comment of this, the description of this video. So check that out if you can. Sort of, obviously at the minute you've talked about Perceptions quite a bit. Obviously, I'm going to be speaking with them lads hopefully in the next sort of couple of weeks. But you sort of took a different side to music at the moment, and you're sort of helping like manage them in a sense. Is that is it management, or is it like booking agent? What is it, or is it just both altogether?
It's kind of a little package. So obviously, we played that show with them in Newcastle last year.
Yeah.
That was I've known Jamie, and I've known like every one of the lads from that band like for a long time, and obviously they've just got Dan and Seymour now, which is sick. Like, because so basically I'm kind of, so what it is I pop up to them and stuff like that, and I says, look, it's a route that I've wanted to take for ages. You know what I mean? It's something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and I'll do it for free because, you know what I mean, you're good lads and stuff like that, and I know you work hard and stuff, and you've got something that will be like appreciated around the UK and not just Newcastle. You know? And they're sick. They're lovely lads.
They're really good, man.
That's sick live, and Jamie has got some pipes on him. Like, me and Liam was standing at the back of the O2 and stuff like that, and even Liam was like, Jesus Christ, like, he's insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. He's such a good front man as well, because I mean we played, I think it was Little Buildings. It was like a tour that we did like 2 years ago, where we did this like big summer sort of show at Little Buildings, where like bloody inflatable palm trees and everyone was wearing fucking Shan badge shirts and that. And it was the first time I think we played with them. It was either the first or second, but I remember just like listening to Jamie, and I was like, fucking hell, he was like holding these fucking notes, and I'm like, Christ, is he not going to run out of breath? Like, I mean, you know what Little Buildings is like, you know, as it is, it's a fucking little sweatbox, but like, the pipes that he had coming out of him, I was just like, this is fucking next level. Really, really good stuff, man.
Like, his stage presence and everything, he's got everything to be a mint vocalist, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean, the thing is with that band, they're so young and stuff like that, but they've got so much, like, I don't know, the charisma and stuff like that. I'm saying they're young, they're not even that young, you know what I mean? Like, that, you know what I mean?
They're sort of breaking that age where, like, it's sort of getting to that point where they are getting a bit, I think it's sort of like, they're, like, sort of in that spot where we were, like, a few years ago. But I mean, obviously with the management stuff, like you said, it's obviously something you've always wanted to do. What is it that you, like, why is it that you're sort of wanting to dip your toes into it?
It's just something different, mate. Like, it's obviously like it'll benefit me as well, because obviously Forbidden, like I book all the shows pretty much, and it's something that I've wanted to learn for a very long time now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm doing it. I've just started working with Warcraft Music, who was like the do that all the pop punk stuff and that.
I seen.
But that's just strictly booking, like. But it's like, you know what I mean. It's a company that I've obviously joined and stuff. That's a bit quiet on the moment because of the whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's kind of something that I've wanted to do for a while, and dude, I'm charging Perceptions nothing, you know what I mean? Like I said, because it's just me sitting at home sending like messages out and emails out,
Yeah.
just stuff, and like trying making plans for them for like releases and stuff, you know what I mean? And like I said, it's basically the main reason, like I said, I'm doing it is because it's a massive learning curve for me.
Yeah.
And I would love to do it, and maybe one day, like in the very future, when I'm not like working in kitchens and stuff, I'll do it from home. You know what I mean? Just work for myself, because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna like. There will be a point where I'll just like not want to work in the kitchen anymore, or I'll not have the stamina or anything to be in a frigging band, because it's like. You know what I mean? It's starting to get old. It's starting to get like half hours now. To be fair, like when I'm on stage, dude, like it's ridiculous.
Exactly. I mean, I think you've worked in kitchens like it's probably as long as I've known you. I mean, as long as I've always known you, you've always been in like some sort of kitchen somewhere. So
I started when I was 15, man.
I'm Christ.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the main reason why I wanted to like step into the whole management thing. If I do feel like, obviously I'll take another band on and stuff like that and start making like a company out of it, then I'll go down that route. But right now I'm enjoying like doing what I'm doing at the moment, and just obviously keeping Perceptions, like obviously not putting them under any name or stuff like that, just like doing it like for me. So like, we've got a group chat and stuff like that, so I'll keep in contact with that, and it's sick, man. Like I love it, like, and they're more than happy. So
yeah, I think it's good when you sort of you get that sort of like relationship with like another band, like in a sense that what you're doing now is obviously you click with them so well, and they click with you. So it's sort of one of those relationships that'll just work straight away, kind of thing. No, it's really good. I mean, it's definitely a sort of like, it's a different side of music, isn't it? This is just the business side of things. So it's I can imagine it's got a different it's got a good perspective, but a different perspective of it in the same sense.
Yeah, it has. It is. It's a massively different thing, because like I said, obviously like we've all, obviously me and you, like we've just been in it for like playing shows and stuff and recording. So it's a massive step of looking to like do on the other side, you know what I mean? It's like, I do anything for them, you know what I mean? I do like, I'll send them to like a studio if I think it's good or something like that. I'll not send them, I'll say, look, I've got this guy who can, you know what I mean? I'll record with George from Ground Culture at the moment. When all this passes over and stuff. So
yeah, I'm very interested to see what their music sounds like after obviously the additions of Seymour and Dan to the band. It'll be interesting to see sort of how their music sounds compared to the last release that they put out, because the last release that they put out I really enjoyed.
Yeah, so do I, man.
Be interesting to see how it changes with the new minds to the band, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. It is definitely a different take, but it's sick. You know what I mean? You can still tell it's them, and it's a lot heavier, and that's the beauty of it. Like, because obviously I seen them at Trillions when they played with, I think it was Carl Stacey's band, and I think it was them. And that's when Dan, because the old guitarist Jake, he couldn't make the show or something like that, so they had Michael Charlton on guitars, and then they had Dan on like their second vocals type thing.
Yeah.
And I pulled Jamie aside after the show, and I was like, mate, you need to like have Dan in your band, like, you know what I mean? Like, you need to just like do that, and so and behold, they took the advice and stuff like that, and then they had Seymour on guitar, and like they seem to be doing really well and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's sick. I reckon they'll kill it like in the future.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what the next release is going to be like. Obviously, I mean, with the whole fucking COVID-19 coronavirus fucking bollocks, it's just put so much delay on like people's plans. Obviously, you said that you had the music video booked, you've got the shows booked. we had like so many plans to get so many shows booked in this summer. We had like different festivals that have been sort of cancelled and postponed now. Luckily enough, we shot the music video for Holy Ghost like a month before we went into lockdown, so we're quite lucky in that sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously, if we didn't have that video recorded, we've been sitting on the tracks for like probably like a year now. It's been a year since we actually were in the studio recording that track, and amongst others as well. So it's difficult times, like. But I mean, at the minute, obviously, you're not working because obviously you're a chef. You can't obviously do chef stuff. You mentioned before, obviously, there's not really an awful lot you can do other than sort of write whilst you're in lockdown. Sort of, how does like isolation like treat you in a sense? Like, is it all right for you? Does it get too much sometimes? Like, do you feel like you cope with it all right?
It's half and half, mate. Like, this bit, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not gonna sit here and say every day's been absolutely sweet, because it hasn't. You know what I mean? There's been times where I'm going insane. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, because it's like, there is a good times where you just sit around and like I said, you finally spend time at home where there's no stress or anything like that. But then there's times where I play loads of Call of Duty, which is not good for me.
I've been bashing COD, like.
Them sending that game out when all this kicked off was an absolute friggin' godsend.
They couldn't have planned it better. They literally couldn't have planned it better.
And then obviously, so I do that. I do cook a lot at home. I've just opened up like an Instagram page for all my food stuff now. Like, I've done that last night because I was like, that's a route that I've wanted to do for a long time. And then obviously I've got the home like set up now for recording and stuff. So it's like, you know what I mean? There is times where I do walk around and go, just want to like go outside. Like that, you know what I mean? Like I said, we just started like literally going out for walks and stuff yesterday, which we probably should have done about a month ago. But like I said at the start of this, it's like when you're working in such a high-paced friggin' job, you just want to take as much time as you possibly can to chill.
That's it, man.
So like it's not been too bad. Like, it's gonna be a culture shock when I go back to work. I'm not gonna lie about that, because obviously like Wetherspoons, some days we start at 6 o'clock in the morning, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a massive culture shock when I go back to work and stuff like that. And it's I don't know, like, I'm waiting for that day to happen. We've been told that it could be July 4th, but it might not be. It just depends what's going to happen, really. Like, there's so much uncertainty. I'm playing a lot of stuff at home now, and me and the lads are writing and stuff. We're writing new stuff for releasing stuff. So like, Liam's just bought a home recording setup and stuff like that. Where guitarists have got one. So, you know what I mean? We just bounce ideas off each other now instead of just like sending videos and stuff. So it's kind of kept us busy in that front. You know what I mean? It's bearable. Obviously, I know that there is different people who take it differently. You know what I mean? I've seen a lot of stuff on Facebook, and you know, it sucks when stuff like that happens.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. And I've got, you know, like I said, we're not all the same and stuff like that. There is going to be people who are going to suffer. And, you know, it's like, obviously, I've got family like all over. Like, I've got family like 30 miles up the road and stuff like that. And obviously, there's other people with families who literally like can't see their families. And, you know what I mean? It is a tough time in that sense, but you know, it's for me. It's just you want to do.
I was gonna say it's tough. It's just I think it's the uncertainty really when people don't really know. I mean, when we're told that we can go outside, but we can't go outside, and we need to stay alert and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's just like people just like we don't know what we need to do and what we don't need to do or what's going to happen. But
that's the thing. It's like, you know what I mean. It's so much uncertainty. And I've never watched the news. I've never watched the news before this kicked off, because I'm like, the news is just like, I don't believe media and stuff like that. And like, I've watched the press conference here and there and stuff, but like, obviously we get emails off work. I've seen a lot. I'll tell you what I have seen, which has been insane. A lot of it's opened my eyes to how much fake news is about. Like, because we had like. I think it was a couple of weeks ago, we had everybody like saying our Spoons is going to reopen. Like, they were sharing like pages from the Daily Mail.
I've seen
you know
that.
I mean?
Yeah.
like I actually commented on a status which was shared, and I was like, dude, this is not true at all. Like, we haven't been told anything from head office, so like, don't believe it. So the
Yeah.
fake news is insane. Like,
It's mental, man. It's I mean, to be honest, like there's so much stuff in the media, and like, I'm the same as you, mate. I've never really watched the news because it's either people being killed, people dying, people being burgled, stolen from, whatever, or it's just literally just random articles. Like I've never been wanting to listen to the news or read anything because it's just you don't know what to believe, and it gets to a point where you get like force fed all this stuff, and then you're like, nah,
yeah,
like
definitely,
don't.
man. Yeah, man, definitely. It's like it's insane that it's opened my eyes how much like shit goes about, really. But that's the thing. Even like, you know, I mean, it's insane how much stuff goes around. So I don't know, but for the future and stuff like that now, it's just I'm just literally taking it each day as it comes. You know, what I mean, it's
the best thing, mate. Yeah. Definitely. I mean, I've pretty much talked about everything I wanted to really bring up with you, mate. To be honest, I just want to sort of end on a last question, just because everyone that I've got planned to come on here is someone who's either been in bands or been sort of involved with music in some way for probably like 5 years plus. So I'd imagine, obviously, at this point, you've got quite a bit of experience, or you've sort of had a few, as we were talking about, I've mentioned it a few times now, learning curves. What sort of advice would you give to sort of smaller bands, either starting out or just sort of starting to dip their toes in a bigger scale of things outside the local scene?
As corny as it sounds, don't rush into anything. You know what I mean? Obviously, you've got to like just think about the product that you're putting out and stuff like that. Don't rush into anything. Don't, like I said, we've been independent and stuff like that, and we've had a lot more control over it and stuff. So maybe go independent when you first start and stuff like that. Because there is ways you can push your music out there yourselves. It'll cost a bit more. Like it'll cost probably a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And then for shows and stuff, just take it each step at a time. Like don't like. The thing is, what I've found out is like, obviously, like right now it's kind of, well, not right now because of the whole COVID thing, but like before this kicked off, it was more of the fact of playing shows is more beneficial and stuff, obviously, because you get to sell merch and stuff, and it's kind of like that, you know what I mean? Like, so you'll make a lot more money off that.
Of course.
So yeah, man, like anything for young bands, just go out and play shows, and then just like try and spread your name that way. But don't rush into anything. Like if you see a massive thing, don't rush into it. You know what I mean? Like,
plan it out.
Yeah, plan it out. That's another thing. Have it like a nice like set plan for you to go forward. Like do spreadsheets. I know it's boring, but do spreadsheets and stuff like that, and like have group conversations and just stuff like that, man. Like just plan it out, and everybody will be fine, really. Like that's kind of what I think. And when you do go to Europe and stuff like that, you know, just take a lot of money with you.
Take a lot of money with you.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking gonna need it.
And don't break down, for Christ's sake.
Doing going to French service stations where you're paying fucking €10 for a soggy sandwich. No worse than that.
Honestly, it's insane. Yeah, man, that's my advice, really. That's all I would say, is just make sure you got a lot of money in the bank, and just like I say, plan it out. Google ads. Like literally Google ads. Does a massive thing.
Aye. Spot on, man. Well, thank you very much. I really do appreciate you coming on and talking shit with us for an hour. It's been class.
It's been class, mate. I'll obviously we'll hang out and stuff after all this kicks off.
I cannot wait, man. I cannot wait.
No worries, man.
Thank you very much, dude.
No worries, dude. In a bit.